Theme 2, Myself and Others. Today we're going to take Unit 6, What Do You Do? Learning objectives of this unit. By the end of this unit, you will be able to read and learn about jobs, explore what an industry is and the names of some common industries, read a poem about some common jobs, read a story about respecting workers. So what is this unit about? What do you think? This unit is about more jobs and common industries. It also shows that all industries are connected to each other, and that is important to show respect to every worker in our community. So let's start by the vocabulary of lesson 1. Look at the picture. This is a farmer. A farmer works on the farm. Fisherman, he catches fish. Guide. A guide is a person who helps people to get to know about places. He guides them and shows them the new places and tells them more about them. Librarian, he is the person who works in the library. He helps you with the books, things that you want to read, things that you want to take, to borrow. Engineer. An engineer is a person who designs, builds, or even maintains or takes care of engines, machines, or buildings, and a lot of other things. A geologist. The geologist is the person who studies the ground, what's under the ground, because when he does that, he understands more about how the old people used to live in history, and this gives us an idea about what happened in the old days. Mining. The mining is a process, or it's an industry that gets things like coal from mines. Tourism. A tourism is an industry that involves a lot of things. Okay, actually, when tourists come to a place, they stay at hotels, they go to visit places. So tourism, when people leave their places that they live in and they go to new places to have fun and get to know new places and enjoy their time there. Industry and things related to it. So if we're talking about jobs and what do people do, we have here industries like mining, fishing, farming, tourism, and energy. If we're talking about mining, and we said that mining is to get something like coal from the mines, we can also get coal, iron, copper. What about fishing? To fish, we need nets and boats to get out the fish out of the sea and to eat them or sell them or whatever. Farming. This industry needs animals and tractor. Tourism. Without hotels and transportation, there is no tourism, because when tourists go to places, they need hotels to stay in and transportation to be able to move from a place to another. Energy. Wave power and wind farm. And these, we can say that they are kinds of energy or sources of energy, and we are going to get to know more about them while we go through the unit. So I want you to look at the pictures here, okay, and notice that we have here some pictures for people who works in certain jobs. Like the first one, the man is holding a fish. So this is a fisherman. Okay, each person has a paragraph beside him that shows us something about him. I wake up very early every day. I go out on my boat and fish. Then in the afternoon I come back and sell my fish in the market. My fish go to the restaurants and homes all over the world. So this is very nice. He catches fish not to eat them. He catches fish to take them to the market and he sells them. And when he sells them, we go to buy these fish. And the fish goes also to the restaurant. So we can, if we went to a restaurant and we want to eat fish, so there is fish. So this is very important. His job is very important. Okay, let's see picture number 2. I grow oranges. All year I look after the trees and I give them water and energy. Then in October I pick the fruit. I send a lot of fruit to the factory to make orange juice. I also sell some of my oranges to the supermarket. Okay, so that's very nice. This is the farmer. He takes care of the trees and then he picks the fruit from the trees and he goes to sell them, okay, by the tractor or whatever, to the factory. The factory takes the oranges and they make orange juice from them, and he can also sell them to the supermarket and people go to buy oranges. Okay, so this is also very important. Number 3 is the guide. I am a guide. I work in the tourism industry. People come to my country and it's my job to explain the history and tell the tourists lots of interesting stories. So for example, if you have tourists coming from, let's say, London and they visited Egypt, so they don't know anything about Egypt, so the guide helps them to know about the history of Egypt. Okay, they go to visit the pyramids and he shows them the pyramids and he talks with them about the pyramids and so on. Okay, number 4. I'm a geologist. I study the ground and the rocks under our feet. I study what is under the ground. I find special metals and think how we can take the metals out of the ground. So the geologist studies what is under the ground. Okay. Number 5, I'm an engineer. I make sure the wind turbines turn well and make electricity. Like you can see in the picture, these are the wind turbines. When they move, it's like a fan that we have at our houses, but it's more bigger. Okay, so these wind turbines, okay, the wind comes, so these move and then electricity is generated. So the work of the engineer here is to take care of these wind turbines. So the electricity we make goes to thousands of homes. Okay, and the last one here is I work in a school library. It's my job to look after all the books. I buy lots of new books and I help children find the information they need. So this is the librarian. So let's have some practice here. Listen and complete. I up very early every day. I wake up, yes. 2. The fisherman needs a and a net. A what? A boat, exactly. Number 3, my go to restaurants and homes all over the world. My fish. Okay. Let's see this exercise. Read and put right or wrong. The fisherman catches and sells fish. Correct. What about this one? The guide works in the education industry? No. He works in the tourism industry, yes. What about number 3? The geologist studies the ground and the rocks? Yes, correct. Okay. Choose the correct answer. A helps children find the information and books they need. The farmer, geologist, or the librarian? The librarian, exactly. What about this one? The geologist takes metals, fruits, fish out of the ground. The geologist takes metals. Yes. Number 3, the fisherman catches, grows, or studies fish. Catches. Number 4, the farmer, the fisherman, the guide explains the history to tourists. The guide. Number 5, the engineer makes sure the wind, power, or turbines or energy turn well. Turbines, exactly. Present simple tense. So in this unit we're going to talk about present simple tense, and I know that you all took present simple before, and we're going to revise it together. Why do we use present simple? We use it to express facts and habits, to talk about daily routines and things that we repeat doing at specific times. Okay? So let's talk about the form. Okay. With most of the verbs we add SES and IES. But do we do this to all the pronouns? No. So I know that with I, we, you, and they, we don't do anything to the verb. But with he, she, and it, we add SES or IES. So we add SES or IES. Most of the verbs we add S. We add ES with what? If the verbs ends with what? CH, SH, SS, O, or X. So if I have any verb that ends with one of these letters, I do what? I add an ES. Okay? And when do I add IES? If the verb ends with Y. Okay? So like carry, study, cry, I remove the Y and instead I put an IES. Okay. Do we do the IES to all the verbs that ends with Y? No, we do that if the verb has a Y at the end and before it there is a consonant. Okay, like carry, it has an R. R is a consonant. Study, D. D is a consonant. Cry, also R. Okay, but what about play? AY. So if I have a vowel before the Y, I do not remove the Y. I only add an S at the end. Okay? With any tense, I have these forms. I have the affirmative form, the negative form, and the question form. Okay? So if we're going to talk about the affirmative form, I put the pronouns or the subject and then the verb, added to it SES or IES if I need to, and then I complete my sentence. What about the negative? In the negative, I use don't or doesn't. Don't goes with I, we, you, and they. Doesn't goes with he, she, and it. Like when I say, I don't like tea, she doesn't like tea. And what about the verb that comes after the negative? It's in the infinitive. Okay, so what about the question? In the question form, in the present simple tense, we start the question with do or does. Also, I use do if I'm talking about I, we, you, and they, and I use does with he, she, and it. And then I put my subject and then the verb in the infinitive also, and then the rest of the question. Like when I say, do you like tea? Or does he like tea? So again, in the affirmative form, I put my subject and then the verb and then the rest of the sentence. If the subject is I, we, you, they, the verb stays as it is. If the subject is like he, she, or it, I add ses or ies to the verb. Okay, the negative, I starts with the subject and then I put don't or doesn't and then the verb in the infinitive. What about the question? I start my question with do or does and then my subject and then the verb in the infinitive. So to summarize this, if I have a negative or a question, the verb comes in the infinitive. I do not put ses or ies. Okay, so don't, doesn't, and then the verb in the infinitive. Do, does, and the verb in the infinitive. Okay, and in the affirmative form, when I use I, we, you, they, the verb also is in the infinitive form. The only time that I change the verb, I add ses or ies, is while I'm using he, she, and it in the affirmative form. Let's have some practice. He pizza for dinner. I want to put the verb in the correct form. Eat will be eats. Yes. Number 2. I coffee 3 times a day. I drink. She, I have she. So I will add what to the verb? An S, it will be speaks. 4. Layla to school with her sister. Layla is like she, so she takes ses or ies. Here I have the verb go, so it ends with an O. I cannot put S only, so I will add es. We in America. We live in America. My father football every day. My father is like I'm saying he, so plays. And here I only added S because the Y, there is a vowel before it, yes. The girl, when she is hungry, cries. Here I removed the Y and I put IES. A nurse at the hospital. A nurse, like she, okay, works. He in the garden. He exercises. He exercises in the garden. My mother, she breakfast for me. Cook will be cooks. Okay. Now let's start lesson 2. Here I have some words like economy, industry, salary, and government. Let's see what do these words mean. I have a word and a definition. Economy is the way a country makes and uses money. Okay, the whole country. I'm not talking about a house or specific people. I'm talking about the country itself. Okay, the way a country makes and uses farming, fishing, tourism. Okay, salary. The salary is money. Money paid to people who work. When you work, you take money. So this is called your salary. Government The government is the group of people who make rules for the country. Okay, listen and read. Industry. So we're going to talk here about industry. The thing we make, buy, and sell are all part of the country's economy. So when we make things, buy things, or sell things, we pay money and we take money. Okay, so this is a part of the country's economy. Our economy is divided into industries such as fishing, farming, and tourism. In every industry, there are thousands of people and many different jobs. For example, let's think about the tourism industry in Egypt. So here we're going to talk about tourism. Okay, when tourists arrive in Egypt, they need what? They need a hotel and they need a bus or a taxi to take them to the hotel. So many people work in the hotel, and the hotel needs electricians and plumbers to fix problems, cooks to make food, and cleaners to keep the hotel clean. Oh, can you imagine that? So when we talk about the tourism industry, we're not talking about tourists and they go to see places and that's it. No, we talk about a lot of things. About hotels, about people that work in hotels, about people who cook at the hotel, because when there is a tourist there, he needs to eat, and cleaners to keep the hotel clean. Okay, and if there is a problem in the toilet or the bathroom or the water that you drink, okay, you need a plumber to fix these problems. Or when you have a problem with the lights, you need an electrician to take care of these things. Local businesses need the hotel too. For example, the hotel buys food from farmers. Okay, this is a new thing. So it's not only about the hotel that the tourists come to stay at. No. Okay, so the hotel will give the tourist food to eat. From where he's going to get the food? From the farmers. So the hotel buys food from farmers. Everything in the hotel comes from other businesses. So it's not only about tourism or tourists or this hotel that they are staying at or the places that they visit. No, it's much bigger than that. Okay? The hotel pays a salary to the workers. The workers use their salary to buy food, clothes, and for transportation. Some of their salary goes to the government to pay for things like roads and schools. When we work, our salary helps our community and the whole country. So, industries are very important. We all live in a place so that's why we should respect each other. Okay, for the country to be a good country, we all must help each other. Okay. Fill in the gaps using words in the box. We have industries, transportation, pays for, and drivers. Number 1, people use their salary for clothes, food, and transportation, exactly. Okay, number 2, the government, things like roads and schools, pays for. Number 3, all are related to one another. All industries are related to one another. Number 4, deliver food to the supermarket. Drivers deliver food to the supermarket. Super. Okay, let's see what's next. This is lesson 3. Okay, let's see what are the words that we're going to see in this lesson. gas, oil, coal, solar energy, wind energy, wave energy. Oh, so the gas is like when you go to the gas station with the car, okay, and you put gas inside your car so that it can move. Oil, we use oil in a lot of industries, okay, and there is the oil that we use at our houses when we fry something or cook something. Coal, and you all know the coal is very black, okay, and we can use it to make fire or let specific things work. The solar energy, the wind energy, and the wave energy, these three are sources of energy. Okay, the solar energy comes from the sun, the wind energy comes from the wind, and the wave energy comes from the waves like in the sea. Okay. Renewable resources, like what? When I say renewable resources, it means that they renew themselves. They don't finish. Okay? They are everywhere. Examples for these: wave energy, solar energy, wind energy. So we have sun, and we have wave, and we have the wind. Okay? So renewable resources, okay, they are everywhere. When we use them, there is no pollution, and this is a very good point. We don't need to burn these to make electricity. So we can use wave energy, solar energy, and wind energy to generate electricity, but without burning anything. So that's why there is no pollution, and that's a nice way to keep our earth clean. So what about the non-renewable resources? It means that we cannot renew them. They are not renewable. When they finish, they finish. Okay? They do not renew themselves, like the sun. Okay? The sun comes every day, so it's there every day, so it's everywhere. But what about the coal? We get coal from mines. When you dig and you get coal, if this part, okay, I finished all the coal in it, will it make another coal? No, it will not. I will go to other places. Okay? Gas and oil are the same. We get them from deep inside the ground, and they take years and years so that I can use them or get them out of the ground. Okay? So they come from the earth, and unfortunately they pollute the earth. There is pollution. Okay? And we need, if we want to use them, we need to burn them to make electricity, not like the renewable resources. So if I'm going to compare, the renewable resources are better than the non-renewable resources. Lesson 3, listen and read. We have a nice story called Two Mango Trees. Let's see what the story is about. Sarah and Malak are sisters. Each sister had a beautiful mango tree next to her house. Every year, the sisters ate beautiful mangoes. Their children played under the trees. One day, Malak said, "I don't need mangoes, I need money. Let's cut down my tree. I can sell the wood." She cut the tree and she sold the wood. Malak was happy. Next year, Sarah's mango tree grew bigger and bigger. It gave Sarah more mangoes. Malak looked out of the window. There was no mango tree. She had no mangoes and no more wood. "Don't worry," said Sarah. "Plant this mango seed and it will grow into a big tree." So let's answer the following questions. What are the advantages of keeping the mango tree? What do you think? It gives us beautiful mangoes, yes. Okay, and remember also what else? Yes, the children played under the trees. Okay. What about the advantages? Number 2, what are the advantages of cutting down the mango tree? Okay. When you cut down the mango tree, you will sell the wood. You will have money. So this is also an advantage. Okay. What do you think about Malak's decision when she decided to cut down the tree? Was it a good thing or a bad thing? So you should answer this by yourself, but let us talk about it a little bit. We have here advantages of keeping the mango tree and advantages for cutting down the mango tree. So we have good things in both decisions. But when she cut the mango tree, she used the money at that time, okay, when she sold the wood. But then she had nothing left. But if she had kept the mango tree, she would have had mangoes the next year, and her tree will grow bigger and bigger like her sister, so she will have more mangoes, and then she can sell the mangoes. When she sells the mangoes, she will have money. Okay, so in my opinion, it was not a good decision. Okay, would you cut the mango tree? If I were in her place, no, I wouldn't have cut the mango tree. Read and complete. We have 4 words: solar, sunshine, make, electricity. We can make electricity from wind, water, and the sun. To make what from renewable energy resources? To make electricity from renewable energy resources, what do we need? We need new solar farms, yes, and wind farms. A solar farm needs a lot of sunshine, and a wind farm needs a big space. Because when we're talking about solar farms, okay, solar farms uses the sun, okay, but wind farm uses the wind. So if there is a big place or big space, wind can move, okay, in a good way so that electricity can be generated. Thank you so much. See you in Unit 6, Part 2.